following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show presented by Hoop Ball. This episode is brought to you by the Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. You guys go get yourself some delicious coffee. My name is Adrian Benjamins, and I am joined tonight by the head of the leadership committee, Neil Rochlani. Neil, how are you, man?
Hey, thanks for that. I'm not sure where we're going on this leadership committee stuff, but I appreciate it.
Neil,
have you and Dan been talking about something I'm not aware of? Well, I'm going to be leading in doing some more work that I'm not aware of.
I read that your Chicago Bulls have created a leadership committee, and the members are Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, I'm forgetting Justin Holiday, Robin Lopez. So, Neil, I am nominating you to be head of the leadership committee for the Box Score Breakdown Show.
Man,
Do you?
I think I can take that on. Yes, that one I can do. Man,
Yes.
The Bulls are just, I mean, my God, it's just an embarrassment of a franchise right now. Oh gosh. Anyway, leadership committee. It's unfortunate the management, the coaching staff, and the players are all on different pages, and it's not looking like it's any better anytime soon. Fans are starting to revolt here a bit in Chicago. See if that has any sustainability and any impact on getting changes here to make this a franchise worth rooting for. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. It's been a long week, so I'm pretty happy that we are getting down to the end of the week, and I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
Doing all right. Yeah, these short nights are like they're a good thing and a bad thing. Like, I like the fact that there aren't that many games to talk about, and we can go a little bit longer in each one. But it's also I like it when there's more basketball on. 4 games is not enough for me. You know, like, I've got a guy going here, a guy going there. Not that much to really kind of track in the league. I watched Chris Dunn play for the first time tonight, so that was interesting to see how he was looking. Watched the Lakers just get trounced there in the fourth quarter. Did you watch any of the games tonight? Did you have time?
I missed the games tonight, but I cannot wait to take a look at the box scores and see another blowout with the Clippers and the Spurs, right? Was it the Spurs that the Clippers played?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Another blowout there, which was surprising. The Clippers have kind of been falling off a little bit lately. But Neil, before we jump into the box scores, one little bit of news and notes that I think we need to discuss. Jonas Valanciunas had surgery today on his left thumb, which was dislocated. He's going to be in a cast for likely the next month. So what do you think about this, man? Is there anyone that would benefit here from a fantasy standpoint?
You know, Valanciunas has this unique skill set where he only plays about 18 to 20 minutes a game, but yet puts up fantasy relevancy. I don't think anyone off the bench in 18 minutes can do that. So I don't think it benefits anybody. If anything, Ibaka maybe gets a little more time on the court. He's averaging around 27 and a half minutes. Maybe that jumps up to 29 to 31 minutes or something like that, and his stats go up a bit. I don't think anyone off the bench can really benefit, or there's no someone you can pick up or pencil in for providing him relief in that time that's going to be fantasy worthy. That's my thoughts. And then I wanted to throw it back to you with another question. Would you drop him if you own him in the league?
I would not drop him as long as you had an IR spot. Now, he has been pretty up and down this season. We've seen what the Raptors are doing. They're starting Ibaka or they're starting Valanciunas based on the matchup, based on who they're playing. But if you had to choose, you would pick Ibaka as the better fantasy asset. So I can understand in shallow leagues, 10-team leagues, even 12-team leagues, if you're really stacked, like if your team is really solid, I can completely understand if you need to move on from him. But in most scenarios, if I can move him to an IR spot, I'd still hang on to him. And I agree with you, Neil. We're not rushing to pick anyone up here. Greg Monroe will likely get backup center minutes here. And if anything, you're just kind of a little bit more excited if you own Serge Ibaka, that now he should be getting the start every single game, maybe seeing a little boost in minutes as well. So it's not really like we're going to pick anyone up. It's more like it's just going to help out Ibaka. All right, Neil, any closing thoughts on this?
No, I think if I had Valanciunas, it would be really tempting to drop him. I can understand the need to hold on to him, because he does do low end value. He's got some unique skill sets, good field goal percentage, obviously good rebounds in a short amount of time. But gosh, it's a lot to hold on to for a guy who's outside the top 108 cats. So it would be tempting for me to drop him and try to stream someone in between and just hopefully pick him back up later or find a replacement as we get to the second half of the season. That's it. Let's go on to the games. I think it's your turn to start.
All right, my turn to lead us. I'm going to start with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets. And this one was really surprising. The Rockets getting the victory here, 126-111. I'm going to jump in on the Lakers side. Going to start with LeBron James, 29 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 threes. Shot a very efficient 12 of 18 from the field. Hurt you a little bit from the line here tonight. 2 of 6 from the free throw line. Kyle Kuzma, this guy's been really good lately, actually, scoring the ball very nicely. Had 24 points tonight, a block, 2 steals, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He added a 3, was 8 of 17 from the field, a perfect 7 of 7 from the line. It's a pretty good game from Kuz. Lonzo Ball, 7 points, 1 steal with 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. JaVale McGee with 11 points, 2 blocks, a steal, 5 rebounds, 5 of 6 from the field, 1 of 4 from the line. Josh Hart with a nice game. This is great. I'm really happy to see Josh Hart start and play well. 15 points, 2 blocks, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, 2 threes tonight. Shot a nice 6 of 8 from the field, 1 of 3 from the line. Off the bench, it was Lance Stevenson with 17 points, a steal, and assist, 3 rebounds, 3 threes tonight, 7 of 12 from the field. Neil, a lot of buzz with the Los Angeles Lakers, lot of chatter that they could be on the market for a wing player, a guy like maybe Terrence Ross, and also a lot of buzz that they could be moving a guy like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So I'm expecting we might see some changes to this team in the near future. What do you think about the Lakers?
Yeah, I think they're definitely in a mode where they want to compete in the playoffs this year. So I think they are going to restructure their roster a bit. And I would expect changes on the wing and see where that lands in terms of fantasy value, in terms of minutes. As you're going through Josh Hart, he had a decent line tonight, but he just hasn't been – I thought he was going to get a much higher fantasy value when Ingram went down. It looks like Ingram's coming back pretty soon. So whatever run we thought we might have with Josh Hart is over, and it really wasn't much of a run to begin with. But you're right, things could change in a second. I don't think Hart would go anywhere, but he's just not fantasy relevant unless he's getting a lot of minutes, and even so, it hasn't really developed that much. Kuzma's the one guy to keep the eye on, right? Because he seems to be like the second alpha on this team behind LeBron in terms of he's got the green light. He's taken usually the second or first most shots on this game, constantly distributing the ball as well. Interesting to see if that role changes at all whenever they get someone. But right now he's been playing pretty well. Any thoughts from you on the changes that might come up and how?
I mentioned Terrence Ross as a potential target. I should also mention that there has also been some buzz that Wayne Ellington can be another wing guy that they're targeting. And, it makes a lot of sense to add a guy that can score and hit some outside shots, to put a guy like that next to LeBron James. And then my last thought is that I was really disappointed that Rajon Rondo was not healthy for this game tonight, because I really wanted to see him and Chris Paul go at it after that last time they got into it. So was pretty bummed that Rondo was not healthy for this one.
Rondo and Ingram, right?
Rondo and Ingram.
Both of
Good
them.
call.
Yeah. I could have saw some punches thrown or some spit flying. I will go over to the Houston side. Sorry about that. All right. They, of course, we're starting with James Harden. This guy knows how to play basketball, huh? 50 points, Adrian. 14 and 26 from the field. 10 rebounds. 11 assists, a triple-double. 18 of 19 from the free throw line. 2 steals, 4 3-pointers. Did have 6 turnovers. But as often as you say, who cares? With that kind of stat line, Chris Paul, more of a quiet night from him in 37 minutes, 14 points, 1 rebound, 9 assists on 3 of 10 shooting. Did have 3 3-pointers and 3 steals, just 2 turnovers. Clint Capella, double-double with 16 points, 14 rebounds, and assist. 7 of 13 shooting, 2 of 3 from the line, a steal, and 2 blocks. Eric Gordon, having a really just awful season. Fantasy-wise, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He's starting right now. A 3-pointer and a steal. PJ Tucker, 37 minutes, just took 6 shots, 6 points off of those, 4 rebounds and assist. 0 for 2 from the line, 2 3-pointers. Danielle House, someone I think you said you've been keeping an eye on, deeper leagues, 29 minutes, 15 points, 3 rebounds, and no assists, and a steal. I think I'm going to have to put this guy on my watch list. Gerald Green, 16 minutes, Nene played 13, and Brandon Knights came out and played 4 minutes. It looks like Gary Clark got no minutes out there. I thought he might get some time. I'm not sure where this rotation is going to go. I'm looking for someone to pick up here. I mean, we know we got the big three, and they really do all the usage, all the stats. I was hoping to find a wing that could be serviceable on this team, and so far it just hasn't worked out. I know PJ Tucker has been useful at times, but I just don't trust it, and right now he's outside the top 140 on a per-game basis, so he's not someone I would ever pick up. Thoughts from you on tonight's game or anything I've talked about?
I'm very curious if the Rockets do end up making a move for a wing player. They've been rumored, as I mentioned, with a guy like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. There's a number of other wing players that could be available. I definitely can see the Rockets making a move. You just said that you're looking for a guy on this team. Neil, if they make a move for a good scoring guy to add to this team to play out on the wing, would you be interested in? I mean, I'm sure it depends on who it is, but let's say they add a good quality piece to play out on the wing and to score. Would you be interested in adding a guy like that to your fantasy team?
Yeah, I'd have to see it happen. I mean, KCP, right, is one target you've talked about in a trade, and let's see, how's he doing this year? I want to see how his stats are this year. I think, in years past, he's certainly been a fantasy option. This year, he's shooting 39% from the field, 35% from three-point land. I mean, he might get some more open looks out there with the guys they can spread the floor with. So maybe that comes up a tad bit to 40%. Maybe that's good enough. Again, that's to see what it is, but I think there's potential. There's a potential for a guy to come in there and knock down 3 or 4 threes a night. So we'll see if they get someone like that.
Lastly, I just want to note that Chris Paul did go to the locker room in this game in the second half, but he did return. So it doesn't sound like there's any reason to worry or to be concerned about anything. Hopefully it was just something minor that we don't even need to think about again. And I also want to note, Neil, that Nene, the reason for his low minute total tonight is he was ejected in the third quarter of this game. So, we're not really counting on Nene for any fantasy value, but just wanted to note it could have maybe given some extra minutes to Capella, which Capella had a really nice line tonight. So just wanted to note a couple details there.
Yeah, thank you. I did not see that, so thanks for bringing that up.
Any closing thoughts on the Rockets or this game in general?
No, let's go on to game 2 of the night.
All right, game 2 is the Los Angeles Clippers and the San Antonio Spurs. And this one is a big surprise for me, Neil. The Clippers have been kind of slumping a little bit here lately, and they lost big to the Spurs tonight. The Spurs getting the victory, 125-87. Neil, I'm really surprised. I'm looking at the Basketball Monster box scores, and it usually tells me if it's a blowout, and it's not saying that this game was a blowout, which is crazy because this score line is ridiculous. But anyways, I'm going to start with the Los Angeles Clippers. Got to start with Tobias Harris. Did not shoot great tonight. Was only 5 of 14 for 17 points. Did not have any defensive stats. 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 3 with 6 of 7 from the line. Avery Bradley, this guy runs hot and cold. He got picked up a couple weeks ago when he was running hot. He got cold. I'm seeing him hit the wire everywhere. Got hot again here tonight. 15 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Shot 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown, 2 of 2 from the line. Pretty good game from him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 13 points, 1 steal, 2 assists. 6 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown. It's an okay line from Shai Alexander. I would have really loved to see him contribute a little bit more in some of these other categories, but I still like him a lot, and I think his outlook's pretty good for the second half of the season. Danilo Gallinari, 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown, 7 of 7 from the line. It's a pretty nice game from Gallinari. Neil, if you would have told me that Gallinari would still be chugging along 9 weeks into the season, I would have bet against you, and I would have been wrong. So, hey, I'm really happy to see Gallinari healthy, providing some pretty decent fantasy value. I'm happy about that. Marcin Gortat getting the start, getting 23 minutes, 2 points, 5 assists with 8 rebounds, no defensive stats, shot a putrid 1 of 5 from the field, no threes, no free throws, and he's killing Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell with just 15 minutes tonight, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. Come on, Clippers, you're losing games. Montrezl Harrell is your best center. Roll with Montrez. Pat Bev had 6 points and block, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 threes tonight in 26 minutes. Not too much else to talk about here, Neil. What do you think of the Los Angeles Clippers?
Yeah, a couple thoughts here. First of all, Gallinari, I think he's missed 1 game this season. That's amazing for what we expected out of him. And, there are years where guys that are injury prone don't get injured. So maybe this is the year. I would still be very hesitant to own him in a league that had playoffs because who knows if he'll be there. Gilgeous-Alexander, like you said, he's going to be fine. He's going to be a second half. What do we call those guys? Guys who win your leagues. Anyway, he's one of those guys. And thirdly, we talked about last time, like who is going to make up for Lou Williams being out and scoring? Apparently no one. They scored 87 points. They really missed the scoring, and no one else has been able to make up for it, at least not tonight. So I'm worried about this team. They usually rely on their defense and then don't put up a lot of points. And tonight, or at least they're known to be they're coached. Their coach is a strong defensive-minded coach. And if they can't stop sort of a mediocre offense in San Antonio, they can't score enough points without Lou out there, it looks like. So I'm worried about this team for the short term in terms of their wins, losses. Anyway, I'll move over. Anything else before I move over to San Antonio side?
Yes, Neil, I just pulled up the 9-category player rater. So this is not off of averages. This is for the season. And you might be a little surprised to know that Danilo Gallinari is currently ranked 26 in 9-cat leagues. And Tobias Harris is right behind him as player number 31. Both guys currently providing third-round value at this point of the season in 9-category leagues. Pretty outstanding, man. Pretty happy to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Tobias, I think we all thought could do that, but Danilo, I thought was more like a fifth-rounder if he's healthy, and then not worth owning if he's not, but great to see him that high. All right, on the San Antonio side, Aldridge had a nice night. None of these guys one guy got to 30 minutes, but the rest is played in the 20s because despite what your website is showing, it was a blowout, Adrian. This game wasn't close in the fourth quarter. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist for Aldridge. He shot 12 of 14 from the field. That's amazing. 3-pointer, 2 steals. DeMar DeRozan played 30 minutes, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 of 14 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line, a 3-pointer. Rudy Gay, though, maybe had the best all-around game tonight. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists on 8 of 10 shooting, 4 of 4 from the line, a 3-pointer, 2 steals, and a block. Derek White back in the starting lineup, 25 minutes, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 5 of 9 shooting, a 3-pointer, and a steal. Bryn Forbes played 22 minutes, just scored 10 points on 4 of 11 shooting, no rebounds, 2 assists, 2 3-pointers, a steal. Bellinelli had a nice contribution in 22 minutes, 14, 5, and 1. Again, 5 and 9 from him from the field, 3 of 3 from the line, a 3-pointer, a steal. Jakob Poeltl got in 21 minutes, 3, 6, and 2. Did get 4 blocks, so that's nice to see. Patty Mills, 20 minutes, 11, 4, and 4. Bertrand, 17 minutes. Not much to say here. Blowouts are tough to really analyze. There's really nothing new here. Rudy Gay is someone that I was big on this year, and so far he's been delivering just fine. I don't know why I was not worried about his health, but I haven't been, and it's, knock on wood, just been just fine. Played in 25 games so far. Aldridge, I think, is going to climb back up from his 70th rank right now in 8-cat leagues. I think he's just too good of a player not to get there. And then I'm watching Forbes. I'm watching Bertrands. I'm watching White from a far distance. Portal. I don't think any of these guys are going to get there, but you never know. You never know if there's something opens up and a guy just kind of breaks out. Any thoughts from you on the Spurs?
I got to catch a few minutes of this game, and from what I saw, LaMarcus Aldridge was scoring at will. The Clippers did not have an answer for LaMarcus Aldridge, and the box score is definitely reflecting that. Him going 12 of 14 from the field with 27 points. And so, man, Neil, from a fantasy standpoint, this team is just so frustrating. It really is just DeRozan and Aldridge and Gay, and we really just can't trust anybody else on this team. And really disappointing that nobody can step up in that guard spot and be a consistent contributor, but it's just not happening. Neil, I mentioned before in the past that I thought that maybe Jakob Poeltl could be somebody that can emerge, and no, it's just not happening. And if he's not gonna come up with Pau Gasol out of the lineup, it's probably not going to happen for him at all this entire season. So, man, it's just a real bummer that the Spurs aren't providing more value from a fantasy standpoint. Neil, any last closing thoughts on the Spurs or in this team in general, or this game in general?
No, I think it's like I said, it's hard to analyze the blowout game. So, ready to move on.
All right, let's get into this next game, the Chicago Bulls and the Orlando Magic. The Magic getting the victory here, 97-91. Neil, I guess the leadership committee's not translating to wins yet for the Bulls, but hopefully it does going forward. But anyways, I'm going to jump in on the Bulls side, and I'm going to start with this guy because he's the hardest guy to say, and I want to get it out of the way early. Ryan Arcidiacono. I know I'm saying that. I know I'm butchering that. I apologize. 5 points, a steal, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. We're not worried about him. We're not playing him in fantasy. But a guy that we are playing in fantasy, Zach LaVine, 23 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Shot 10 of 18 tonight from the field. 2 of 3 from three-point range, 1 of 2 from the line. Pretty good game from Zach LaVine. He's having a good season. Another Chicago Bull that's having a really good season is Justin Holiday with 18 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 of 5 from downtown, 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line. It's a nice game from him. A letdown game here from Lauri Markkanen. 7 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 5 rebounds, 2 threes. Just shot 2 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line. Wendell Carter Jr. with a letdown as well. He may have had some foul trouble tonight. He did have 4 fouls. He only played 18 minutes. 7 points, 1 block, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. Wasn't happening for him tonight, but stick with Wendell Carter Jr. I'm hoping for a second half of the season breakout from him. Robin Lopez got some extra minutes here, 28 of them, and he scored 11 points with 1 rebound, 2 blocks, a perfect 5 of 5 from the line, 3 of 7 from the field. Bobby Portis, nice to see him back. He's still playing limited minutes here. He played 22 of them for 15 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, 7 rebounds, 6 of 11 from the field. He added a 3, 2 of 4 from the line. Chris Dunn, still working his way back, played 26 minutes and scored 5 points with 1 steal, 2 assists. He did have a 3. He only shot 2 of 5 from the field. Neil, not too much else to talk about. Jabari Parker's out of the rotation, it looks like. It might be time to move on from him if you're still rostering Parker. And Neil, what are your thoughts on the Chicago Bulls?
Yeah, tight game here. Went down to the end. Just couldn't get it done. Parker, as you mentioned, it has been officially talked about not being in the rotation anymore. So it's not just a one-game thing. He just got signed to that great contract, and the new coach does not want to play him anymore. So definitely no need to even monitor him at this point. Yeah, LaVine had a nice night. He looked really fresh out there, had some nice looks, put up a lot of points, was getting other guys involved as well. Marketing, I'm not sure what happened. He looked a little slow out there when I was watching it. Holiday still having a solid role despite these guys coming back. Lucky for me, I have him in one league. And then Carter Jr., yeah, you're going to have games like this. He's got in foul trouble. Lopez getting more minutes off the bench. And Chris Dunn, I have him on one team, and I'm waiting to put him in my lineup. But after watching him tonight, I'm not in any rush. He is just not looking like he is ready to put up a lot of points or fantasy value just yet. He looks a little bit like he needs to get in game shape. So I'm going to just have him on my bench until I think he's ready, which I think it might be definitely not next game. Who knows? We'll see. They did go to Mexico City tonight, so there was some travel involved that might have impacted some of their tiredness as well. So that's what I got from the Bulls. I'll go over to the Orlando side unless there's something else you want to add.
Yes, I forgot that they played in Mexico City. Neil, did the Bulls wear their Los Bulls jerseys?
I have no idea. I wasn't even paying attention.
I'm just kidding. I don't know either. All right,
I have
man.
no clue. They should be wearing those Los. Oh God.
Take us over to the Magic side. What happened over
Killing
there,
me.
man?
All right. Vucevic, someone we talked about, we've been talking about, raving about all season long. This guy is just playing at a high level, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 to 21 shooting, 3 3-pointers, a steal, and a block. All right, the guy we're trying to will our way into fantasy relevancy. Jonathan Isaac, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. 2 of 7 from the field, but he did go 5 of 5 from the line. Good sign there. A 3-pointer, 3 steals, 3 blocks. That's what we love about him. If he's out there, I think pick him up. He might have some value down the stretch. Aaron Gordon, he's been fading a bit. 8 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. 2 of 11 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3-point land. Let's see. DJ Augustine had a pretty decent game. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 4 of 8 shooting, 4 of 4 from the line. 3 3-pointers, a steal. Evan Fournier, he's back in the starting lineup. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Kind of a quiet night. 5 of 13 shooting, no 3-pointers, no steals, no blocks. Terrence Ross, someone we had talked about, did get 29 minutes tonight, but really struggled. 2 of 9 from the field, just 1 of 5 from 3-point land. 8 points and a rebound, no assists, no steals. Did have a block. Jonathan Simmons, the door could open up for him a bit if Ross gets moved, but I would have to wait and see it. Same with Jerry and Grant. These guys are not worth owning. Mo Bamba as well. We had talked about this guy being a potential fantasy asset this year. Certainly hasn't happened, and no reason to expect it to. Oh gosh, I've had trouble pulling the trigger on Terrence Ross just because I'm worried about games like tonight, and I'm gonna wait and see if he does get moved before I do anything. Do you have any thoughts on the Orlando Magic?
Neil, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that at the 9-week mark, Vucevic would be ranked ahead of Jimmy Butler, Karl Anthony Towns, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, Nikola Jokic, I would have said you were out of your mind, crazy. I would have told you to get out of town. But, man, he has just been rock solid, which is going to delay the emergence of Mo Bamba. So I think this season it is just not going to happen for Mo Bamba. I love his outlook in dynasty leagues. He's already owned in every single dynasty league because I think in 2 or 3 years he's going to be a really good center. But for this season, I don't think we need to pay any attention to Mo Bamba anymore. And as far as Vucevic goes, I still don't believe he's going to finish at his current rank of 7, but it is clear to me he's going to finish pretty high and much higher than where he got drafted. What do you think about it, Neil?
Yeah, I was just trying to think in my head, where would I pin him for the end of the season, assuming he stays in Orlando, which looks like he will. Yeah, you're talking about 9 category. I would think he finishes somewhere in the teens. I would say probably 15 or something. But we'll see how that plays out. It's just been, it's been, like you said, it's been 9 weeks. So this is not a fluke. This guy is a very good basketball player, and he's delivering. All right, sir. I know it's past your curfew. I've got to let you go.
Neil, at my age, I should not have a curfew. But when you get married and you have a family, and kids, your life no longer belongs to you. You answer to other people. And unfortunately, I got some stuff to take care of family-wise. But Neil will be back for the final game of the evening, the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns. Neil, I was pretty excited for this last game because the battle of the Rookie of the Year candidates, Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton. So I was really excited to see this box score. So I'm hoping you can give us some good news later tonight. All right, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hit me up on Twitter at Adrian Benjamins. It's been a great week. I hope all you guys are having great seasons. I hope you guys are enjoying this wonderful fantasy hoops season that we're having right now. All right, Neil, I will talk to you later. Thanks for having me.
All right, on to the last game of the evening. We have the Phoenix Suns getting a win at home against the Dallas Mavericks off a back-to-back. I thought this was a good spot for them to win did not have the courage to bet it. They were getting 6.5 points at home, and they end up winning. 6 points at home. They end up winning 99-89. God, Phoenix is so hard to figure out. God bless you if you've been able to either like stream guys properly or play them when they perform. Because tonight, a lot of the guys that we kind of count on did not deliver. DeAndre Ayton for 7 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 of 13 shooting, 1 of 2 from the line, 2 steals, and a block. We also had, all right, so 2 guys we kind of count on delivered. TJ Warren, of course, he is their guy to score when Booker is out. And tonight, 30 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 of 17, 5 of 6 from the field, from the free throw line, 3 3-pointers, 2 turnovers. This one is easy to call. Trevor Ariza, you've been sticking with him. Tonight, got rewarded 13 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists on 4 of 7 shooting, 2 of 2 from the line, 3 3-pointers, 4 steals. Phenomenal line from him. DeAndre Melton, someone who I attempted to pick up, did not go through on my waiver wire, and glad it did not, because tonight he just went for 0 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist on 0 of 4 shooting, 0 of 2 from three-point land. He did have 3 steals and 2 blocks, 3 turnovers, played 23 minutes. Mikal Bridges, someone I have been streaming. It's just not working out. 9 points, 5 rebounds on 4 of 9 shooting, 1 3-pointer, 1 steal. Really picked this guy up, expecting to get some steals and some 3-pointers, and then maybe do decently in the other categories. Not happening enough. I think it could happen still in the second half of the season, sometime after the new year. Not there yet, unfortunately. Off the bench, Josh Jackson played 34 minutes, closed the game, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 of 17, though, from the field. 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 3-pointers and a steal. Jamal Crawford, 27 minutes, 17 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists on 6 of 14, shooting, a steal, and a block. Rashawn Holmes, 9 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, 4 of 6 from the field, a steal, and 2 blocks. All right, so let's look at the Phoenix Suns real quickly here. Booker is expected to come back in next game, the 15th of this month. TJ Warren will certainly take a hit in his output of scoring. Ariza, we don't know if he's moving or not. So many rumors out there. He has been 95th on a per-game basis on in 9 category leagues. 8 cat is probably less impressive because that's 97th in 8 cat. So not much worse. He's definitely worth holding on to. He seems to be one of the reasons why Phoenix plays well. So DeAnthony Melton, someone who I thought was worth picking up after a few game stretch. Clearly, this is going to be on and off. Enough to be fantasy relevant, not sure. After tonight, I'd have to watch him. I mean, it's not like he's an established player who had one bad night. This is someone we don't know can make it as a fantasy asset and had just an atrocious night fantasy-wise. Josh Jackson and Rashawn Holmes, the other guys off the bench, you got solid minutes. For Rashawn Holmes, at least 22 minutes for him is pretty solid. And Josh Jackson, 34. If you can withhold or withstand the bad percentages for Jackson, both free throw and field goal percentage, might be worth a look. Rashawn Holmes, his free throw percentage, not great. Tonight, okay, 1 for 1, but 62% on the year. He does shoot 65% from the field, so that is a big help. I am not trusting this team enough. The rotations are going to be too chaotic to be able to have any predictability to it. So outside from Booker, who will be fine when he's healthy, Warren will be fine. And I guess Ariza, we can't even count on Ayton anymore. He's 44th in per game in 8 cat for this season. Although things have really changed. In the last 2 weeks, he's 105th. So I imagine he'll stay relevant. I can't imagine why they wouldn't want to play him. But Phoenix is a tough one to figure out. So holding off on all Suns except for those three main guys. And then Ayton, I guess you roll with and hope it works out. All right, on to the Dallas side. I should have done this side first. Apologies for that. Got ahead of myself. Dennis Smith Jr. back in the lineup, played 27 minutes. He scored 6 points with 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 of 7 from the field, 3 steals. Still, unfortunately, 120th. In ACAT over the last 2 weeks when he's been in, and over the season, he is 118. So right there on the cusp of being owned. Luka Doncic, though, someone who has produced or outproduced, probably is draft-wise, 48th per game in ACAT leagues. Tonight, another great game, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists on 50% shooting, 6 of 12. Unfortunately, missed both his free throws, which is a bit of a problem. He's on 80% for the year, but this doesn't help. 1 3-pointer and a steal. Wesley Matthews. Oh, let's go to DeAndre Jordan next. Another guy you can trust here. 14 points, 16 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 of 5 from the field, 4 of 7 from the line. That is obviously a little down from what we're expecting recently for him. He's been shooting 76% of the year from the free throw line. Fantastic for him. A steal, no blocks. Did have 5 turnovers, though. Back to Harrison Barnes, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist on 6 of 15 shooting, 2 3-pointers. Wesley Matthews, 30 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist on 3 of 10 shooting. Jalen Brunson plays 21 minutes off the bench, goes for 13, 1-1. Dorian Finney-Smith, 18 minutes. Devin Harris, 17 minutes. Dwight Powell gets 16. And a Dirk Nowitzki spotting gets out there for 6 minutes. And in that 6 minutes, he was -1. So no really impact on the game. All right, so looking at Dallas, we know Doncic, Jordan, Barnes if you need points. Wesley Matthews, I mean, I think you can do better. Really, he's just, you want him to be a 3-and-D guy, and tonight 1 3-pointer, just scored 9 points though, no defensive stats. He's averaging less than a steal a game. 2.4 3-pointer, so that is nice. But still only 15 points on the season. I think you can probably find a better guy out there in a 12-team league. Same with Finney-Smith. He's 139 on a per-game basis in 8 category leagues, and we'll have moments like Matthews, but both of those guys are not going to be consistent enough to be owned. J.J. Barrera was out tonight, so I will note that if you happen to be streaming him, he had an ankle injury. We'll be back in on the 16th. It is showing up here. And that is it for the Thursday edition of the Box Score Breakdown. Again, thanks to our sponsors, Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee, soon to be my new favorite coffee at some point. Secondly, we still have our premium membership available. I believe it's $14.99. You get $3 off with a coupon code. You can always use my name, NEIL, and you will then pay $11.99. I think it'll probably go down every month. So if you want to wait till the end of the year, I think January there'll be another discount. So anyway, that's one way to support us if you do like the show and the stuff that we put out here for free. Other than that, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you. Oh, one last thing. I am on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @ballwithneil, BALL. With that said, have a great weekend.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.